Hello, welcome to Trancey Talk. First of all, I apologize for the delay. It's been had a few technical difficulties that hopefully are fixed now, so we'll see how it goes. But, welcome to Trancey Talk. In this episode, we will be talking about freeze play, which is something I enjoy a lot. And there's a lot of fun things and like fun ways you can incorporate it with hypnosis. So before we start, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. And if you follow, or if you want to follow me, you will find me posting all about hypnosis and a lot of hypnosis stuff and, well, tweets on my Twitter. And definitely do like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot. I love this cliche. And finally, if you want to check out my latest content and all my newest stuff, then you should definitely check out my Patreon, and it would mean a lot if you support me and, well, check out my stuff over there. So, hello everyone. Hello HP. Good evening. I'm doing well. I'm doing really good. It's a good day, and the best thing is I have a whole week off. Like this next week, I have it all off, so that's exciting. And yeah, it's been good so far, and I'm enjoying myself. As for the poll, yeah, that's something I thought I'd try. It's just a fun way to have you all interact with what we're doing. And I'll keep it throughout the stream so anyone can vote at any time. And I think you also can see the results. I don't know if you see them now or at the end of the stream you'll be able to see them, but so far all the people who voted are saying yes, they enjoy freeze play, which is today's topic. Although freeze play, I feel it's not specific, but also it's kind of broad. I enjoy the element of locking or binding someone in place in a physical sense and in a mental sense, because there's like the mind freeze, I guess is what you'd call it, where you basically have someone go blank, and mind on freeze is, well, having people on blank. So that's also one of the freeze play techniques, I guess, if you wanted to call it that. But yeah, that's today's topic and today's conversation. And I'd love to hear from you all. If you have experience with it, if you enjoy it, what do you enjoy about it, and what or how you like it to happen. Like there's the straightforward, just the freeze play where the hypnotist tells you to freeze and you freeze in place, and they tell you to unfreeze and you unfreeze. Another way of doing it, which I think I enjoy it more than the instant freeze sometimes, is the slow freeze, where the person starts to feel their body locking in place, starting from their feet and going up through their body till it reaches their head, stuff like that. And we will definitely be doing that today. I'm sure we'll be doing at least the like instant freeze and the slow freeze, so get excited for that. And also I'd say if you have certain ways or certain ideas in your mind, then definitely feel free to share them. So it's an open platform to share your thoughts and ideas and all your experiences with the topic we're talking about. So if you have any stories you'd like to share, then go ahead and do so. For me personally, one of the stories, or one of the, not the story, it's just the general thing I enjoy about it, is with the instant freeze, I'd say I enjoy that sudden realization that people have where I tell them to freeze. I'm gonna say freeze a lot, by the way, so good luck. If I say that word, they instantly realize it and they instantly lock in place. It's always fun to see that change, that like how their bodies and muscles tense and lock up. That's always an entertaining and fun thing to see. And sometimes I also like that slow realization where I say the word and it takes them like a second or two to register what's going on. That's a lot of fun. Like they're moving or like doing something and they continue to move for a second or two before they lock in place and they're frozen in place. Good stuff. As with the slow freeze, I definitely enjoy when it hits them, like usually, and what I'll definitely be doing today is starting from the feet and going all the way up to your head. So I enjoy like how they start to try to move their feet and how they try to move their legs and all that, and they slowly realize that nope, that's not gonna happen. So that's always fun, how they like look at their feet and know that there is nothing really stopping them from moving their feet except that I said that word and that, well, it worked. So that's something I enjoy, that reaction and expression and how it slowly crawls or makes its way up their legs and to their waist and to their arms and then to their face. And something I like to do for a while is keep the eyes and mouth moving. That makes it fun to like be able to have them react or tell me how they're feeling or what they're experiencing while they can't move any other muscle. And hello, June, how are you? Hope you're doing fine. So yeah, that's pretty much the two standout things when it comes to freeze play. But it is freeze play, but in another sense, I'd say it falls under freeze play and under doll puppet play in a way, which turning someone into a mannequin. But I've done actually like a specific file for that, which is basically it's a mannequin file where you're becoming a mannequin and feeling bound and stuck in place as I move you and I pose you around like a mannequin. That file was a lot of fun. It's on my Patreon. And another different one that I enjoyed making a lot, and I didn't think it would like get that much traction when I remember that a few years back when I made it, and didn't think it would like be a hit as much as it did, is the Medusa's Gaze, which you can find on the channel, by the way. I'll recommend a few freeze files here on the channel because I've done that, and I'm sure I'll be doing more of that in the future, and I'd love to hear your like ideas or suggestions regarding freeze play files in a fantasy or a story kind of way, because I think that would be a pretty cool thing to do. So yeah, that file, the Medusa's Gaze file, it's basically you trying to hide from her and, well, failing and turning into stone. But of course it's safe, don't worry. You won't be stuck forever as one of her statues. So yeah, that one I remember doing, and it was a lot of fun seeing how people reacted to it and how they actually felt their body and muscles turn into stone. So that's definitely a file I'd recommend you try if you're into freeze play. But what about you? Like, tell me about your stories, your experiences, and anything you've experienced or tried regarding freeze play. Whether it's a file, an experience with a hypnotist, stuff like that. I'd love to hear from you. The other thing actually I enjoy, it's sometimes a fun way to tease people with, is like freezing or having a certain body type, not body type, body part freeze or get stuck in place. That's always a fun one to do, just to tease someone when playing with them. Like having their arms freeze or their feet stuck in place, stuff like that. That's another thing. I think we might start with that kind of soonish. HP says, I've listened to a few files on YouTube. Oh, that's nice. Do you remember them? Was there something like different happening in them other than the general just feeling your body frozen or stuck in place and stuff like that? How did it go? Tell us about it. And yeah, the whole freezing certain body part or freezing your whole body except your head, that's another one that is always fun to do, like having your body frozen from neck down. That's a fun one to do, as well as I said, having your whole body frozen except your eyes and the mouth. Yeah, that one's probably my favorite. It's fun, like seeing a person move their eyes and like try to move their head, but failing miserably, and telling me all about it. It's a lot of fun seeing that happens. And HP says, I know that I've listened to your files and maybe some other hypnotists, but to be honest, I don't remember much. That's fine. It's okay. It's I'm sure most of these files go in the direction of like trancing you and or like planting the trigger of like when I or other hypnotists say freeze, your body locks in place and like stuck in place. And it sometimes also it's just a slow freeze, it's the same thing. Which, well, it's gonna happen. And yeah, I'm definitely teasing you and like building the anticipation until we actually, sorry about that, until we actually start the hypnosis. But also, I know that a few of you are pretty familiar with my voice, so, well, you can't deny that it's pulling you as I speak right now, which is totally fine and I highly encourage. But yeah, something I think like one of the ideas or the things I might do in the future for a file or something is like a freeze ray, where when I'll see if I can find the sound effect to make it work properly, but like when you hear that sound effect you feel like you've been hit by a freeze ray and you're stuck in place. It's basically just like a freeze file but with added pizzazz to it, an added layer of entertainment when listening to it. That's a fun one to do. And HP continues and says, I do know that technically I got the triggers you set in that one file, but they didn't work yet today. I think maybe because you didn't use your more hypnotic voice yet. Yeah, definitely that's a huge part to my files and, well, general safety, I'd say. Like, I can't just say that word willy-nilly, as they say, and have it work in an environment that not safe, but I'd say not suitable for that. Like, I can't say that word and have you freeze in place while you're at the mall or something. That wouldn't be the smartest thing to do. So safety is definitely a huge and important part of it. And I'll be honest, I don't remember my exact words in the file because, you know, that file is 4 years old. And actually, no, I think it's 5 or more. So I don't remember my exact words in it, but I do believe that I made sure that you only experience it if you're in a safe environment and like it's an environment you can properly experience that in. So yeah, that's that, along with my current tone, that helps a lot in you not getting affected by it. I'm sure if I change my tone, you'll be instantly affected. But yeah, other than the freeze ray idea, I think there's like, I'm trying to do more files that have a story or like a more elaborate or immersive file where you have an actual story in it, not just like you will freeze when I say the word freeze. It doesn't, like, these files are a lot of fun sometimes, just the direct command and the direct trigger planted in your mind. But sometimes I'm always trying to add more to it and like add an extra layer of immersion to it where I give you a story to why that happened to you or why you've experienced that. So for example, with That's Why I enjoyed the Medusa's Gaze file, because it has that element of you're trying to fight her and trying to close your eyes and hide from her, and eventually you end up looking at her, and that's when you're caught, and that's when the stone transformation, or like turning into stone, starts to happen and starts to affect you. So that kind of these kinds of files and these kinds of ideas these are more of what I'm trying to do now, and trying to mostly have you experience that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's that idea, or like the idea of adding that layer. That's something I'm trying my best to do more of, and I think I've been doing a good job with that, especially recently with, as a friend called it, the Great O's Extended Universe, which is basically a bunch of files that all revolve around the same concept of an immersive story. Haven't connected them yet, starting to, but I'll probably do more files related to that. And actually, since they're not dipping, they're very focused on the supernatural, so I think I can definitely add an element of like being bound and frozen in place to them, like introducing a character, like a character that's that can affect you that way. So yeah, I'll think about it, and I'm sure I'll be doing more with that, like a supernatural way or a supernatural effect that causes you to freeze in place. Maybe it's a magic spell, maybe it's a creature that has that ability to, like Medusa has the ability to turn you to stone. That character will have the ability to freeze you or have you bound in place in a way. And actually, that's a question I think is fun to ask, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about. Hypnotic bondage, would you call that, or like hypnotic bondage and freeze play, would you say they're vastly different, or you'd say they're very close to being the same thing? I'd say they're pretty close, but they have a change in elements, since freeze play is more like, you're not bound except by the trigger or something, while with hypnotic bondage you can feel or sense that there is maybe a rope, maybe some sort of force tying your hands or legs, or tying you up in general. So I'd like to hear how similar or how different you think freeze play and hypnotic bondage are. And also HP says, sounds good. I like files that are more like a story. And yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I've been for since I've returned the early 2021. That's what I've been doing more, or trying to do more. That we haven't reached that point on YouTube yet, but we're actually getting pretty. We're getting close to it. I wouldn't say pretty. There's still like 40 files to go before I start shifting towards the new files I've made. So yeah, that these files, I definitely recommend you check out the latest files I've been doing on my Patreon. They're more story based and story focused. I'm not saying the older ones are not, but the older ones are mostly, or had that element, but they were focused more on the direct hypnosis. They weren't focused on making the hypnosis part of the story. The hypnosis can't speak. The hypnosis was like at the end of it, or like not as integrated as I'd like it to be. That's what I wanted to say. And HP says, I also think they are similar, but do have some differences, like you said. yeah, that's my feeling as well. Like they're at the end of the day, they both have you stuck in place, bound in place, all that stuff. But the sensation, I feel it all comes down to the sensation from it. The sensation of freeze play is different than the sensation you get with hypnotic bondage. So that's the main focus and main difference when it comes to like freeze play and hypnotic bondage. But what do you think? Is it time to start some hypnosis? I would say yes, it is. It's a good time to start. And I think I would start with like certain body parts and then shift it towards the slow freeze, or maybe the instant freeze and leave the slow freeze till the end. I think that's a fun way to do it. So yeah, I think I'm about to start. But and before I always start, it's kind of the disclaimer I do, just to make sure that you consent and it's all good. But if you're not comfortable or if you don't want to get hypnotized right now, that's totally fine, and you can simply like just watch and see how it goes and just enjoy the ride without actually being affected. That's totally fine. And if you want to experience it all, then I definitely encourage it, and I'm happy with you interacting and being part of it. It's totally up to you, and at any point or any time you have to snap out of it, if you want to snap out of it, that will happen instantly without any issue or any problem, and it's all good. So yeah, let us start. Because after all that talking about freeze play, after me saying the word freeze this much, it's pretty easy to find and feel your body tensing up, to feel your muscles becoming heavy, becoming hard to move, to find yourself unable to move, unable to move a muscle. It's happening bit by bit. You're finding your motion slowing down. You're finding your muscles tensing up, locking up. It's becoming harder and harder to move your body while listening to my voice, focusing on the sound of my voice. It's easy to get lost in it, and it's so hard to move your body as I speak. You feel your mind being pulled by my words, my voice, while you find you cannot move You don't need to move. You don't want to move. You try to raise your right hand right now, but nothing happens. It's not responding to you. It is frozen in place. You are frozen in place, and you will remain bound and frozen until I say the word unfreeze. You don't really care about that right now. You're just enjoying my voice, enjoying how nice and good it feels. Listen and focus and get lost in it. Get lost completely in my voice. It doesn't matter if your eyes are open or closed. You're just bound in place, stuck in place, frozen in place. And it feels good. It feels really good to be that stuck. You don't care about it at all. You don't care about your body and moving it. You're just too focused on my voice, too focused on my words, and excited for the next time I freeze you, because in a moment I will release you. However, you will find that when I say the word freeze, you will instantly be frozen and stuck and bound in place. Instantly, immediately, bound. That is whenever I say freeze. But when I say a body part and then the word freeze, only that part will be frozen and stuck in place. So, for example, when I say right hand freeze, only your right hand will be frozen and bound in place. That is until I say the word unfreeze and release it. But for now, you remain frozen. Freeze in place completely. Frozen and stuck in place until I release you. as for the final part of these triggers is the slow freeze. How when I say slow freeze, you slowly, starting from your feet, freeze in place. Feel yourself getting stuck in place, starting with your feet, going up your legs, your waist, your stomach, your chest and arms and neck and head, frozen completely, bit by bit. That is what happens when I say slow freeze. With all these triggers planted, it's time to play with them. It's time to have fun with them and enjoy how you get to be bound in different ways and manners throughout the episode. Unfreeze. Welcome back. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Hope you had fun being bound and frozen in place. I've definitely enjoyed doing that to you. And I'd love to hear how you felt. Like, go ahead and share your experience with that trance. And I'll try something as well. If you're listening to this after the stream, I'd love for you to comment down below and tell me about your experience and tell me how that trance felt. And as we move forward, tell me about the experience as it happens. Because, for example, legs freeze. Your legs are frozen in place. You can move your whole body. It's completely free to move, except your legs. Go ahead and tell me how you're feeling right now. Can't move them? Hard to move them? They feel heavy, and the more you try to move them, the more still and stuck they become? That's the intended effect. And I'm sure you're finding it amusing how you cannot move it at all. And HP says, this time I already reacted to the trigger while you said the word. Couldn't move at all. My gaze was stuck to a point in my room. And they continue with, yeah, can't move my legs, no matter how hard I try. Exactly. That's exactly their response and reaction. I know you're feeling right now. That is until I say unfreeze. And now you can move them. Now they are free to move. And that's it. That's the most basic, yet in a lot of cases one of the most entertaining ways to have someone freeze in place and get stuck, and then unfreeze them and have them free to move. So, freeze, stuck, bound, unable to move at all. Unfreeze, back to normal, freely moving around. Yeah, it can happen like that. That's the idea of having it happen out of the blue. So, let me know, how long did it take you to react? Was it instant? Did it take you a few seconds or a few moments to register and realize what's happening and feel your body react to it? That's always fun to know. The effectiveness, or rather the response time, how long it took, how short it took to react to that trigger. So, as you're telling me about your reaction and how it felt, it's also a good time to slow freeze. But this time I'll add a small part to it. Your whole body, except your hands and eyes, can move. The rest of your body will slow freeze and be completely stuck. HP says, it's so easy to move after you unfreeze us. So it almost feels more easy after being frozen than usual. Yeah, I'd say it's like your body is like, yes, I can move, I'm free. So it's more loose and nimble in a way. And they continue and say, took me about a second to realize, but then I instantly reacted. And yeah, that's just your brain registering and realizing what happened. Like, what's happening to you right now? Being slowly frozen in place. How does that feel? How do you feel to try to move your feet, your legs, and be unable to move them? Where is it right now even? Did it reach your waist? Is it still at your legs? How slow or fast is it going? Or are you completely frozen except for your eyes and hands right now? And how does that feel as well? How does it feel to have your eyes and hands able to move while the rest of your body is pretty darn stuck? HP continues and says, it's already reached my neck and it's going up her head. Well, I think that's all of you right now. That's every one of you right now. Head, or well, eyes and arms able to move, but the rest of your body is stuck. And how does it feel to have your hand, your arm, and your eyes moving, but the rest of your body is like, nope, not gonna happen, not now, not until they release us? How does that feel, or how do you feel about that? Is it fun? Is it weird? Are you enjoying it? Tell me all about it. And actually, here's a fun way to do things. Because the next time I say slow unfreeze, it happens in reverse. Starting from your head and going down to your feet, you start to be released, to be moved, to be able to move freely. But it slowly happens. As I say, slow unfreeze. Feeling it now. Feeling it happen. Feeling it hit you. Body part at a time. That piece says it feels weird, but I kinda like it. And that's good. It's good that you like it. I know it's definitely strange to have your whole body like stuck and frozen in place like that, but still have control over a specific part of it. It's not something you feel every day, I'm sure. And as you're feeling now, it's slowly happening and you're slowly unfreezing. And soon you will be completely released. You will just unfreeze. So go ahead, stretch, and move around just to let your muscles and your body loose after being that stuck in place and that tense, or your muscles being tense. Yeah, do that. It will help. You good? Just giving you time to stretch, and just go ahead now. Just stretch your arms, stretch them to your sides or above you. Just stretch them and freeze. Body frozen, stuck in place. Instantly frozen and stuck in place right now. Can't move a muscle. Can't move at all. You're aware of it. Your mind is aware. Your mind is awake and aware and knows exactly what's happening. However, that doesn't change a thing. That doesn't change anything at all. You're still stuck and bound and frozen in place, unable to move a single muscle, unable to move at all. That is until I say unfreeze. And that's it. You're back to normal. You're back to stretching and realizing exactly what just happened, how it happened, and that's how it happens. And the HP says, that was mean. Oops. Hey, I said I'd be, well, having you stuck in place today. So, you let your guard down. Never let your guard down when you know that that might happen. But at the same time, I know you've liked it, and you can't deny that. That's one of the things about it in like an environment like that. The sudden, what's the word? Surprise. Yeah. The surprise of it when you least expect it. That's always fun. And see, HP said true. She liked it. And I'm sure you've all liked it as well. And this is gonna sound super cliche, but honestly, I have to do it. If you've liked what I've just did, then hit that like button. I can't help myself honestly with these stuff. Like these YouTube cliches I love too much. I love like the whole like, share, subscribe, and having like something like this happen and using it to like tell you hit that like button, all that stuff. It's so cliche and honestly I'm sure a bit cringy, but I just love that kind of cringe. It's part of who I am, can't deny it. But yeah, that was another part of the effects of the freeze play. And don't freeze right now, just don't freeze. Gotta make sure and know that no one's stuck or bound in place right now. But yeah, one I think a cool idea were the file related to this is, well, it can be one of two things. It can go, I don't know why that was the idea I thought about or thinking about right now, but it just happened, so I'm gonna share it with you. So you're either like the owner of a house or you are trying to steal something from a house. I'm still gonna think about which character I'll make you be. However, if you're the owner, then you found that someone's breaking and entering your house and trying to... Oh, actually, no. Oh, no, okay. This is me literally thinking out loud with you. But yeah, if you're the owner of the house and you hear someone breaking and entering your house, and there you go and check out what's happening, and surprise, there's a thief trying to rob you. But don't worry, I'm not gonna make it scary or anything. It's just something like that. And as soon as they see you, they hit you with some kind of freeze ray, and well, boom, you're stuck in place. That is if you're the owner of the house. And of course, when they freeze you, they'll probably they'll be like a bit, not mocking, but like gloating. Yeah, that's the word. Gloating that they will steal from you, or maybe they will steal your mind, as you're just stuck and bound in place. However, if you are the thief, you break and enter to a house, and as you're going around trying to find whatever valuable thing is there, it can happen in two ways. Either it's the reversed rule and the person, like the owner of the house, catches you and they are the ones who have the freeze ray, and they freeze you in place and start to gloat that they've caught you and how you're a clumsy thief or something like that. Or what happens is that valuable thing, maybe it's an ancient artifact or something, it has a supernatural effect, and it causes you to freeze in place when trying to steal it. Like maybe as soon as you touch it, you feel a surge in your body and you start to freeze in place, something like that. And speaking of freeze, I have a feeling that at least some of you are now frozen in place as I continue to talk, which is totally fine. You can still hear and you're aware of every word. Just happens to be that you can't move. Totally fine. But yeah, maybe that artifact has a supernatural effect and it causes you to be stuck in place like that. These are good ideas. I'll write them down. And yeah, it's gonna be added to my never-ending list, which I'm really glad that it's never-ending, because, you know, more file ideas means I don't run out of ideas and I can continue to constantly create the files and content I do. But yeah, unfreeze. It's okay for now. You can move again in case you got frozen or something. So yeah, that is a cool idea, and I'll write it down and refine it and everything, and definitely gonna see if I can make it or create it sometime soon. But before I go, just to be safe, I'll have to remove the triggers, at least like make sure that they do not work in general with everyone, and they will certainly only work like during files or during a safe environment kind of thing. That's what I'll do before the end of the episode. And I have an important announcement when it comes to my schedule and everything. I'll be telling you all about before the end of the episode. So just focus on the sound of my voice. Focus on my words and feel how easily they pull you. How easy it feels to listen my words. How open and susceptible you are to my words, to my voice, to what I tell you. You find that all the triggers I've used right now are gone. They are completely gone right now. When I say freeze, nothing happens. When I say slow freeze, nothing happens. When I say right, left hand freeze, nothing happens. You unfreeze completely, because these words have no effect on you right now. No effect at all right now. You are back to normal without these triggers, and you can certainly get to experience more of that And I'll tell you how when I wake you up. As I count from 1 to 5 now. When I reach the number 5 and snap my fingers, you will wake up. 1. Slowly starting to wake up, feeling refreshed. 2. Refreshed and energized. 3. These triggers no longer have any effect on you. 4. Feeling wonderful and loved each and every moment of this wonderful trance. 5. Wide awake. Now, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed the whole episode and the whole stream. And for people listening in the future, I hope you had fun, and I'd love to hear about the whole experience in the comments. And yeah, if you do want to experience more of my freeze play, I'll try to put the links in the description, but the files you'll have to look for is freeze play and Medusa's Gaze and the freeze play test. I'll put the links down below so you can check them out and enjoy feeling this way again. And yeah, before I leave, there are a few important announcements I'd love to make and want to make and need to make. And the first thing is, as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then please subscribe, like the video, and check out the different content on my channel. I'm sure I have probably a file that would suit your taste. That's how various and different my files are, or at least how I try to make my files. And if you want to stay up to date with my content or like my posts and what's happening, then you should definitely follow me on Twitter. And finally, if you want to check out my latest content and my newest everything, then check out my Patreon and hope you support me there. As for the other announcement that I wanted to make, it's that starting May, next month, May 2022, I'll have a different schedule for releasing my files. I'll be releasing the YouTube content on the 5th, 15th, and 25th of each month. So that way it's just 10 days between each file, and it's like a uniform period between each release or each upload. That way it makes it easier for you to know, like, it's the 5th, 15th, or 25th of the month, then yep, hopefully gonna keep it steady and no issues will happen. But yeah, that's when I'll be releasing content on YouTube. As for, and those special the Trancey talks, they remain the same. They remain on the last Saturday of the month. So if it happens to be that Saturday is on the 25th, then you'll have Trancey talk on a new file on the same day. So fun. As for Patreon, it's gonna be similar. It's gonna be the 10th the 20th and the 30th of each month. Although the 30th, well, we have February, so February is probably gonna be the 28th, like the last day of the of the month. Although that one, no, it's gonna be like 30th, or yeah, it's gonna be the 30th of each month. So the 10th, 20th, and 30th, yeah, of each month. That's when I'll be posting my latest files on Patreon. And it's for the same reason. It's because I think and feel that's a good way to be uniform in my schedule and just make sure that you'll it's the same interval between each release, and that way it's enough time for me to rest and work on the file, and it's also like a good enough duration that it's not too long that people start to feel like, see, not gonna release any file or something like that. So yeah, that's the news, and that is what will happen from now on. I'm gonna start it next month or in May, and I'll probably ask you about it at the end of the month if you like that, if you like the old way more, or if it's fine with you either way. But yeah, I always like to get your feedback and know how it, well, know if you like the changes or not, generally just to get the vibe and everything. But yeah, that's today's episode. Hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I hope you've had fun. And for people listening in the future, that's probably gonna be something I do more often, like talk to people in the future like that. If you've enjoyed everything, leave a comment down below and like the video. For now, I have to say goodbye, and always remember to trance safely and trance your mind away. Bye.